Part 3. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 21. At this time, at 4 o'clock, it was pitch black, with a visual distance of less than 3 meters. Uncle Wang, I'm sorry for asking you to come with me at this late hour. Zhao Wenbin's voice sounded, and he looked apologetically at the man in black robe next to him. Wenbin, please don't meet me outside. I am an old friend of your mother's, so I should help you. The man in black robe looked at Zhao Wenbin and said with a smile, besides, you have taken good care of me during the time I came to Jiangbei, so I can repay your kindness. Well, thank you, Uncle Wang. Zhao Wenbin first thanked him, then looked in the direction of Su Yang and sneered, second young master Su is really careful. He was worried that Su Yang would have psychological shadow and would not dare to drive the bulldozer again, so he arranged double insurance. But that's not necessary at all. Mr. Su is such a good guy. There are 2 of my subordinates among the bulldozer drivers. I have already told him that if the time comes, just give Su Yang a few words and he will definitely drive the bulldozer. Zhao Wenbin smiled playfully. There is a laboratory in the northernmost part of Jinling University. There are explosive items there. My men will induce Su Yang to push the laboratory. Su Yang will definitely be blown up to pieces. But it's also good to have double insurance. Thinking of this, Zhao Wenbin looked at the man in black robe and said politely, Uncle Wang, if Su Yang does not go to the laboratory as planned, I ask you to kill him. You are not from Jiangbei. After killing Su Yang, second young master Su will arrange for you to leave here. No one will find out about second young master Su and me, Zhao Wenbin said. Okay, I'm just killing a loser. With my ability, I will never leave any traces. The man in black robe was very confident. He turned his eyes to Zhao Wenbin's neck and asked, Wenbin, I saw you wearing the jade pendant I gave you this morning. Why is it missing now? Uncle Wang, listen to my explanation. Zhao Wenbin did not hide anything and said truthfully, I lost the jade pendant in the dogfight this morning. What? That jade pendant is made of energy stones. It is valuable. It emits a breath that is beneficial to the body. Wear it all year round to avoid diseases. How can you treat it as a gambling capital? The man in black robe was very angry, and then asked, who did you lose to? Su Yang. Su Yang. The man in black robe frowned, then breathed a sigh of relief and said, that's okay. I'll just get the jade pendant back after he dies. I'm sorry, Uncle Wang, I didn't know that jade pendant was so precious. Zhao Wenbin apologized. No need to apologize, Wenbin. I was too anxious just now, so my attitude was not very good. Don't be angry, the man in black robe smiled kindly. How could I be angry with Uncle Wang? Zhao Wenbin smiled softly, and then said, Uncle Wang, I don't know if the jade pendant was carried by Su Yang. If Su Yang drives a bulldozer to the laboratory, will the jade pendant be damaged, exploded to pieces? No, the energy stone is extremely strong. Even if it explodes, even a master of energy transformation cannot destroy it, the man in black robe said. That's good. Zhao Wenbin nodded, and then smiled coldly, Su Yang, this time, you will definitely die. Yeah. But who would have expected that? As soon as Zhao Wenbin finished speaking, a cold voice suddenly sounded from the scene. Immediately afterwards, Su Yang appeared and walked over step by step. Su, young master Su. Zhao Wenbin was startled, his expression suddenly changed, and he took 2 steps back in fear. After a pause for a few seconds, he came back to his senses, plucked up the courage and said with a smile, young master Su, why did you appear out of nowhere? You scared me to death. He. Su Yang stopped, stared at Zhao Wenbin, raised the corner of his mouth and said, I should ask you this, right? It's so late, what are you doing hiding here? I. Zhao Wenbin hurriedly explained, Young Master Su, aren't you going to bulldoze the school? I prefer the excitement, so I came here to take a look. Shut up. Su Yang suddenly stopped smiling and said with a stern look, I heard everything you just said. Zhao Wenbin, you are so brave, you actually colluded with Su Jinghan to set me up. The last time I was buried under the ruins, it was also the work of you and Su Jinghan, right? Su Yang asked in a deep voice. Zhao Wenbin's face was very complicated, and he was instinctively afraid of young Master Su, but he took a look at the man in black robe next to him and felt confident. Su Yang, now that you know everything, I won't pretend anymore. Zhao Wenbin was submissive before, but now he seemed to have changed. He sneered arrogantly, not only last time, I have plotted against you a lot. Su Yang was not in a hurry to take action, and smiled softly, oh, what else have you plotted against me? Haha, Su Yang, do you remember 5 years ago? Zhao Wenbin smiled provocatively. Cannot remember. Then I'll help you recall your memories. Zhao Wenbin played with the taste. 5 years ago, not long after your mother passed away, you were in grief and in a very low mood, so I asked you to have a drink. As a result, big news came out the next day. You slept with Zhang Shuer after you were drunk. The key is that Zhang Shuer is still your fiancé's best friend, haha. You were extremely drunk at the time. If I hadn't secretly helped, would you have been able to crawl into Zhang Shuer's room? Oh, it's you. Su Yang suddenly realized that the memory of that year was now in his mind. At that time, young Master Su was not a super playboy. Although he was also a good-for-nothing, he did not indulge in extravagance and debauchery. However, since the scandal of drunkenly sleeping with Zhang Shuer came to light, young Master Su broke everything and started a career as a mischievous young man, eating, drinking, prostitution, and gambling all day long. Zhao Wenbin, what happened 5 years ago was what second young Master Su ordered you to do, Su Yang asked. Of course, after it was done, second young Master Su gave me a large sum of money, haha. Zhao Wenbin smiled and said, not only that time, but some time ago, you actually didn't take Li Feixuan as a bet at all. We were drinking together that day. You drank too much and you were in a daze. I said Li Feixuan was very beautiful and I liked her very much. If I wanted to make a bet with you, you would just hit me on the head with a wine bottle. Zhao Wenbin smiled playfully, however, the next day I found someone to use special means to synthesize your voice. The content was that you agreed to take Li Feixuan as a bet. After you sobered up, I played the recording to you. You didn't believe it at first, but then you started to lie and refused to do it. I sent someone to stun Li Feixuan, and then said you did it. But, although Li Feixuan is beautiful, she is the daughter-in-law of your Su family after all, and the Li family itself is one of the 4 major families in Jiangbei. I definitely don't dare to sleep with her. The reason why I do this is just to discredit you. Zhao Wenbin then laughed and said, so I didn't touch Li Feixuan and contacted Li Kekai. As a result, your image fell to the bottom, but I became a representative of uprightness, haha. And Su Yang, I'm not afraid of you standing up and saying that you didn't do this. Zhao Wenbin sneered and said, second young Master Su had already thought of a way out when he laid out this plan. He asked me to confront you in front of everyone. Anyway, you are notorious and everyone will believe my words. It's just that I don't understand, Mr. Su, why did you clearly not stun Li Feixuan, but didn't come forward to clarify, but took the blame, Zhao Wenbin asked curiously. Why? Su Yang is not young Master Su, but at this moment, he already has the answer in his heart. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 22. As Zhao Wenbin said, young Master Su is notorious in Jiangbei, and no matter what he does, it is not surprising. As for Zhao Wenbin, although he is also an uneducated young man, his reputation is not that bad. If young Master Su and him insist on their own opinions, everyone will definitely choose to believe Zhao Wenbin in the end. Young Master Su knew this well, so he was too lazy to argue with Zhao Wenbin. Anyway, he already had enough stains on his body, not least this one, so he chose to acquiesce. The memories Su Yang inherited were intermittent, and many memories from the past were vague. After listening to Zhao Wenbin's story, Su Yang understood that young Master Su was also a miserable man. 5 years ago, his mother's death had a great impact on him. Coupled with Zhao Wenbin's frame-up, everyone knew that he was responsible for Zhang Shui's belly. From then on, young Master Su became disheartened, gave up on himself, and completely sank into darkness. Su Yang could feel his helplessness and despair. Perhaps the positive young Su had been dead since the day his mother passed away. But Su Yang will not muddle along, this pot is not his, and he will never carry it on his back. Zhao Wenbin, you framed me like this, I should have killed you right now. At this moment, Su Yang stared at Zhao Wenbin and said calmly, but now, I will give you a chance. Come back with me to testify against second young Master Su, and I will reconsider how to punish you. Punish me? Zhao Wenbin heard this and sneered again and again, haha, Mr. Su, you are so funny. Now that I have told you all this, do you think you still have a chance to survive? What, you want to kill me? Su Yang raised his eyebrows. Nonsense, do you think I'm stupid? If I don't kill you, if you go back to the Su family and tell Su Shenbing these things, not only will I die, but our Zhao family will also be destroyed. Zhao Wenbin smiled first, and then said politely, Uncle Wang, thank you for your hard work, you can start now. The man in black robe who had been silent next to him nodded, then his eyes fell on Su Yang and said calmly, Su Yang, I once gave Wenbin a jade pendant. I heard that you won it this afternoon. Jade pendant. Su Yang met the man in black robe and was slightly surprised, are you a friend of Zhao Wenbin's mother? Not bad. The man in black robe, whose face was covered by black cloth, could not see his facial features, said coldly, hand over the jade pendant, and I will consider giving you a pleasure. I used the jade pendant and it turned into powder long ago, Su Yang said truthfully. Use it, what do you mean, you sucked away Yu Peri's energy. Su Yang nodded and said, well, thank you for providing the jade pendant. It has helped me a lot. Impossible. No way. The man in black robe was shocked and said in disbelief, the jade pendant is made of energy stone, and the energy contained in the energy stone is incompatible with the true energy. If the ancient warrior absorbs it, he will definitely explode and die. Don't tell me that you are so young, even a martial arts master who is above Huajin cannot absorb the energy stone. At this point, the man in black robe reacted and sneered, Su Yang, in this situation, you still dare to make fun of me and seek death. As soon as he finished speaking, the man in black robe had a sharp look in his eyes and immediately raised his hand to pat Su Yang. Little tricks. Su Yang stood still and did not move. When the black-robed man's palm approached, he kneaded the secret with one hand. Buzz. The next moment, a wall of air rose from the ground, blocking Su Yang. Immediately afterwards, the man in black robe hit the spiritual energy barrier with his palm, and then a terrifying aftermath rippled around. So strong. His strength is only stronger than Xiaotang's. It can be seen that if you cultivate your inner strength to a certain level, you can still compete with spiritual energy. Su Yang took 2 steps back and instantly felt his energy and blood surge. He was obviously injured by the shock, but it was not a big problem. On the other hand, the man in black robe was shocked, with an expression of disbelief written all over his face. I have been practicing for 50 years and have entered the late stage of energy transformation. At your age, you can actually catch my palm. The man in black robe stared at Su Yang with stern eyes and said solemnly, young man, it seems that you are not the waste that everyone calls you, but a talented ancient warrior. You talk so much nonsense. Su Yang did not have an in-depth chat with the man in black robe, but put away the spiritual energy barrier and took the initiative to attack. After knowing the strength of his opponent, Su Yang did not try too hard, but used all his strength. The man in black robe did not dare to neglect, and also went all out to fight. Su Yang's body was originally very weak, but after cleansing and cutting out the marrow, its strength is no longer weak. Therefore, Su Yang and the man in black robe were evenly matched, and there was no winner for a while. But the man in black robe became more frightened and looked at Su Yang with fear in his eyes. You are able to fight against me at such a young age. Looking at the ancient martial arts sect, it is difficult to find someone who is good at it. Moreover, the Genkai he used was extremely strange and powerful. I have never seen it before. He must have practiced some amazing magic. Monster, this boy must be a genius who commits crimes, and must be eradicated, otherwise there will be endless troubles. With this thought in his mind, the man in black robe did not dare to hide his clumsiness, and used his special skills one after another. Su Yang was suppressed and retreated. He even caught Su Yang's flaw and sent Su Yang flying away with a palm. Puff! Su Yang's blood stained the sky, and he fell heavily to the ground, his face slightly pale. Seeing this, the man in black robe showed a relieved smile. Good. Uncle Wang, well done. At this time, Zhao Wenbin next to him clapped his hands excitedly, and then said provocatively, Young Master Su, you are really surprising. I thought you were a loser. I didn't expect you to hide so deeply that you actually know martial arts. But, it's a pity that my Uncle Wang comes from the ancient martial arts sect and his strength is unfathomable. You will definitely die today. Uncle Wang, kill him quickly. Zhao Wenbin first provoked, and then urged impatiently. The man in black robe nodded, with a gloomy face, and strode towards Su Yang. Su Yang, everything is over, just die. Su Yang stood up, wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and a sneer flashed in his eyes. It's really time to end, but, you are the one who died. The moment he finished speaking, Su Yang began to knead the secrets with his hands, and a water ball the size of an apple gradually took shape in his palms. It exuded terrifying pressure, making people feel like falling into an ice cave. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 23. Water Polo. Although this is only a low-level magic, its power cannot be underestimated. However, using the water ball technique requires the consumption of a large amount of spiritual energy. Su Yang was previously afraid that the man in black robe would avoid it, so he did not gather it easily. Now, the man in black robe thought that Su Yang had no power to fight back and had relaxed his guard. It was the best time to use the water polo technique. Boom! Su Yang didn't hesitate at all. After the water polo technique was formed, he immediately threw it out. Is this water? The man in black robe had a look of shock on his face. Before he could react, the water ball had already hit his chest. Boom! The next moment, a muffled sound came from the scene, and then the man in black robe flew backwards, landing on the ground 3 or 4 meters later, with a large pool of blood spurting out of his mouth. The true energy has transformed into form. You are actually a martial arts master. The man in black robe was extremely shocked, and his voice was full of panic. From the words of the black-robed man, Su Yang could tell that this martial arts master should be a level higher than Huajin. With Su Yang's current strength, it is already very difficult to deal with the black-robed man in the late stage of Huajin. Naturally, he cannot compare with the martial arts master. However, due to the difference between spiritual energy and true energy, The man in black robe mistakenly thought that Su Yang was a martial arts master. Su Yang did not explain, but strode towards the man in black robe and asked coldly, "Tell me, how many energy stones do you have for making jade pendants?" The man in black robe pondered for a moment. He could see that the young man in front of him wanted the energy stone, so he said, "I don't have it with me anymore, but I know there must be one somewhere." "Where?" Su Yang asked. The man in black robe gritted his teeth and said, "It's okay if you want me to tell you. Let Wenbin and I go, otherwise I will never tell you." "Haha, you are not qualified to negotiate terms with me." Su Yang's eyes flashed, and he said in a deep voice, "If you don't tell me, I will kill you now. My patience is limited. I give you 10 seconds. If you miss it, you will only die." While speaking, Su Yang exuded a terrifying aura, and the air around him seemed to freeze. "Don't do it," I said. The black-robed man hurriedly said, "The energy stone is relatively precious. Although ancient warriors cannot absorb the energy in it, wearing it all year round can infect the breath of the energy stone, which is good for the body. There must be someone selling it in the Jimin black market." "Jimin black market?" Su Yang frowned and asked, "Where is that place? You don't even know this. Are you not from the ancient martial arts world? Are you a lucky person who got the magic skill by chance and reached your current level of cultivation?" Black Robe couldn't help but guess. "Don't ask what you shouldn't ask." Su Yang said coldly, "What does Jimin black market do? Where is its address?" It was a trading place for ancient warriors. They could freely buy and sell medicinal materials, elixirs, weapons, internal skills, and martial arts secrets. Every province in China has a 9-door black market. Under Su Yang's pressure, the man in black robe did not dare to hide anything and said truthfully, "There is an underground long street on Zhongshan Road in the eastern suburbs of Jiangbei. It is the Jimin black market in this province. There are definitely people selling energy stones there." "I see." Su Yang nodded as if he understood, then suddenly raised his hand, strangled the black-robed man's neck, and said expressionlessly, "I'm sorry, you know too much, you must die." Throwing away the body of the man in black robe, Su Yang stood up and walked towards Zhao Wenbin, his eyes dark and terrifying. Zhao Wenbin witnessed Su Yang killing the man in black robe with his own eyes. The fear in his heart could not be increased. His body instantly collapsed to the ground, shaking uncontrollably. Su Yang, I'm sorry, I was wrong, please forgive me, I don't want to die." Zhao Wenbin lost his arrogance and pleaded with a trembling voice. Su Yang looked at Zhao Wenbin and said calmly, "As long as you agree to follow me back to identify Su Jinghan, I won't kill you for the time being, otherwise today next year will be your Memorial Day." "Okay, I am willing, young Master Su, please don't kill me, I promise." As Zhao Wenbin was speaking, a dart suddenly cut through the void and quickly inserted into his throat. Puff. Zhao Wenbin reflexively covered his throat with both hands, but it was too late. His throat was broken, and bright red blood spurted out, extremely dazzling in the dark night. In just an instant, Zhao Wenbin fell to the ground, his eyes widened, and he died. "Who?" Su Yang frowned, and immediately gathered his water polo skills, and threw it in the direction of the dart with all his strength, hitting the person who shot it without exception. The next moment, a figure fell from the tree 5 meters away. Su Yang walked over to check and found that this man was wearing night clothes and wrapped in black cloth from head to toe. No wonder he didn't notice it at first. At this time, the man was lying on the ground, the black cloth on his face was stained with blood, and he was breathing heavily. "Who are you? Su Jinghan sent you here," Su Yang asked. The man in black said nothing. "Haha, you have a bad temper, but I have 100 ways to pry your mouth open." Su Yang sneered. But before he could take action, the man in black vomited black blood and died from the poison when his neck was crooked. um. Su Yang frowned deeply, bent down, and opened the mouth of the man in black. He found that the poison had been hidden in the man's teeth in advance. Seeing that he couldn't escape, he bit the capsule and died instantly. Death Warrior. Su Yang's heart sank, and a sense of crisis arose spontaneously. Facing the man in black robe just now, he needed to go all out, and now another dead soldier appeared who he had not noticed in advance. If the dead soldier's darts had not been directed at Zhao Wenbin before, but had been shot at Su Yang would have been completely unprepared. Even if he could catch the darts, he would still be injured. The earth is very dangerous. The strength of the first level of Qi training is simply not enough. But Su Yang likes this feeling very much. Only when there is a crisis can I have the motivation to continue to become stronger. Those who created crises in my previous life have become my stepping stones. Su Yang raised the corners of his mouth and said with excitement, "This time, there will be no exception." Salsa. At this moment, a rush of footsteps suddenly came from the distance. Xiaoting, why is he here? Su Yang suddenly came back to his senses and thought in his mind, they are probably sent by my father. I don't know if there are any masters around Sujinghan yet. Moreover, Zhao Wenbin is dead and there is no evidence of his death. With young Master Su's character, I'm afraid there is nothing wrong with it. No one will believe it. Forget it, I'd better hide my strength for a few more days. When I break through to the second level of Qi training, I can settle the score with Sujinghan. But now there are 3 corpses here, and Xiaoting is here again. How can I explain it without arousing suspicion? Su Yang's thoughts raced, and finally the corners of his mouth raised as he thought of an excellent solution. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 24. Xiaoting has been very busy these 2 days. Some time ago, the eldest young master drove a bulldozer to bulldoze the school and was buried under the rubble. The family owner thought that this matter was not simple, so he sent him to investigate secretly without alerting the enemy. After many twists and turns, Xiaoting found out about the Zhao family. The Zhao family is just a middle-class family in Jiangbei, but it made its fortune in real estate, so it can easily contact the bulldozers. Xiaoting followed this line and easily found Zhao Wenbin. However, he found out that Zhao Wenbin had found 50 more bulldozers tonight. Although he did it very secretly, Xiaoting, who had a background in investigation, discovered the clues. Does the eldest young master want to destroy Baohinia University? Thinking of this, Xiaoting lost his composure and went straight to Baohinia University without even notifying Su Shenbing. He didn't dare to stay for a moment. As soon as he approached Baohinia University, Xiaoting saw 50 bulldozers gathered in the wasteland, and his heart skipped a beat. After taking a closer look, he breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, he arrived in time and was ahead of the eldest young master. If he had arrived a step later, the eldest young master would definitely have caused a disaster. Young master, it doesn't matter that you are a loser, and no one will blame you for being a drunkard, but why do you have to have trouble with the school? It's only been 2 days since the injury has healed, and we've started arranging to push the school again. You think the school push is just a game of challenge? You push one building after another, can't you just stop for a while? Xiaoting looked at the bulldozers in the wasteland and smiled bitterly. Help! But at this moment, in the darkness in the distance, a cry for help suddenly came. Why does the voice sound familiar? Xiaoting frowned, and after thinking for a few seconds, his heart suddenly tightened. No, it's the young master. After realizing that the person calling for help was Su Yang, Xiaoting quickly shuttled through the dark night and saw Su Yang after more than 10 seconds. At this time, Su Yang was lying on the ground, his hair was disheveled, there was blood on his clothes and face, and he looked miserable. Next to him, there were 3 corpses, one of which was Zhao Wenbin. The other 2 corpses, one in black robes and the other in night clothes, couldn't see their appearance clearly and didn't know who they were. Xiaoting, you're here, you scared me to death, I thought I was going to die. Su Yang said in a pretended panic, his body trembling. Young master. Xiaoting hurried over and asked with concern, are you okay? Are you injured? No, no, help me up quickly, Su Yang said with a trembling voice, looking very frightened. Xiaoting did as he was told, helped Su Yang up, and then couldn't help but ask, young master, what happened? Why did young master Zhao die here? Who are the other two people and how did they die? Fuck you, why are you asking so many questions at once? My mind is completely blank right now. How should I answer you? Call my dad quickly. I want to go home. I don't want to be with the dead. Hurry up. Su Yang said in a panic, portraying the cowardly young master Su to perfection. Yes. Xiaoting responded respectfully, then dialed Su Shenbing's mobile phone number and briefly explained the situation. Immediately afterwards, Su Yang asked Xiaoting to take him back to Su's house. Before leaving, the two came to the place where the bulldozer was parked. Young Master Su, you just left in a hurry. What were you doing? Do you still want to push the school? If you stay any longer, we will be exposed. As Wang Fugui was talking, he suddenly saw Su Yang's face covered in blood, and suddenly said worriedly, wow, young Master Su, what's wrong with you? It's a long story. Wang Fugui, please let the bulldozers withdraw quickly, Su Yang said. Whoa, you are right, young Master Su. All the money has been spent. How can we withdraw at any time? I still want to make a big move with you, Xiaoting. When Wang Fugui saw Xiaoting, he shut up instantly. As a popular person around young Master Su, he naturally knew the captain of the Su family's secret guard, and was even a little scared, so he wisely ordered the bulldozer driver to evacuate the scene. Su Yang and Xiaoting did not stop and quickly disappeared into the night. Half an hour later, in the living room of the Su family manor, 3 corpses were lying, namely Zhao Wenbin, the man in black robe, and the dead soldier. Su Shenbing was sitting on the chair, Xiaoting was standing next to him, and it is worth mentioning that Su Jinghan was also there. As for Su Yang, he had changed into clean clothes, and his nervous mood seemed to have recovered a lot. Xiaoting, have you found out the identities of the 3 deceased people? At this time, Su Shenbing asked with a serious expression. Checked it out. Xiaoting responded, that young man is Zhao Wenbin, the second son of the Zhao family in Jiangbei. The man wearing night clothes has a totem on his arm and is confirmed to be a dead soldier of Country D. As for the man in black robe, his identity is rather special and his origins are extraordinary. Xiaoting said with a solemn expression, he is a well-known master in the ancient martial arts world, the Kaishan Zhang, Wang Ping Chuan. The founder of the mountain, Ping Chuan. Su Shenbing stood up instantly and said in surprise, isn't he a master in the late stage of Huajin? He is stronger than you, how could he die in Jiangbei? Xiaoting shook his head and said, I have to ask the young master about this. Swish, swish, swish. In an instant, the eyes of the 3 people in the living room fell on Su Yang. Especially Su Jinghan, staring at Su Yang intently, wanting to know what happened tonight. Su Yang, tell me, what's going on? Su Shenbing asked seriously. Dad. Su Yang no longer pretended to be panic. After all, he was a dandy, and he had his elder sister behind him. So, Su Yang smiled softly and said, that's right, tonight I asked Zhao Wenbin to help me find 50 bulldozers, and then gathered outside Zhejiang University. When we arrived at the place, I received a message from Zhao Wenbin, asking I'll go to the woods to find him. Wait a moment. Su Shenbing asked with a dark face, little bastard, why the hell are you contacting Bulldozer to go to Bauhinia University? It does not matter. Su Yang changed the topic and continued, when I passed by, I found Zhao Wenbin and the man in black robe waiting for me. As soon as he saw me, he asked for a jade pendant. What jade pendant? Su Shenbing interrupted. I had a dogfight with Zhao Wenbin this morning and won a lot of things, including the jade pendant he wears all year round. Are you going to fight dogs? Su Shenbing gritted his teeth and said, my uncle, Su Yang, can't you just be a quiet waste at home? Damn, Dad, are you interesting? You keep interrupting me. I won't say anything anymore and go back to sleep. Su Yang huffed and immediately gave up the challenge. He knew young Master Su's character very well. Stop, keep talking, I promise not to interrupt you. Su Shenbing promised that he had no choice but to be tough when facing his son, not because he was afraid of his son, but because he was afraid of Su Jingguo. That's pretty much it? Su Yang continued, that bitch Zhao Wenbin has no gambling products and wants to default on his debt. I don't know where he got the courage. He actually found a helper and tried to snatch the jade pendant away from me. The guy in black robe was very powerful. I couldn't resist. I was about to return the jade pendant, but suddenly a man in black appeared. The man in black doesn't have martial ethics. He launched a sneak attack from behind. A dart hit the man in black in the chest. Then another dart came and killed Zhao Wenbin. Su Yang made up a lie and said, I was scared to death and was at a loss what to do. Fortunately, the man in black didn't die. He slapped the man in black to death with a backhand before he died. Just like that, I was the only one alive at the scene. I was so scared that my legs went weak. I quickly called for help, but Xiaoting showed up in time. Su Yang concluded, that's probably what happened. You all know what happens next. After hearing the whole story, Su Shenbing and others looked at each other, and the scene was very quiet. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 25. Su Yang, what do you mean? The dead soldiers of Country D killed Zhao Wenbin and the man in black robe in a sneak attack, and the man in black robe killed the dead soldiers of Country D before he died. After a pause for a few seconds, Su Shenbing asked as if to confirm. Not quite right. Su Yang cursed and said, the dead soldiers of Country D attacked the man in black robe, but they did not attack Zhao Wenbin. That big idiot Zhao Wenbin doesn't know martial arts, so you don't even need a sneak attack to kill him. Also, the dead soldiers of Country D and the men in black robes should have wanted to kill me, but they probably didn't know each other and ended up killing each other. Otherwise, I would be dead, Su Yang said happily. Su Shenbing was doubtful and ordered Xiaoting, check the wound. Yes. Xiaoting accepted the order, then checked carefully, and then said, reporting to the head of the family, as the eldest young master said, the dead soldiers of Country D and Wang Ping Chuan died together, and Zhao Wenbin did indeed die at the hands of the dead soldiers of Country D, his throat was slit by a dart. When Su Yang heard this, an imperceptible smile flashed across his lips. With his ability, it was easy to fake scars. Well, I understand. Su Shenbing first looked at Wang Ping Chuan, and then at the dead soldiers of Country D. At this time, the dead soldier of Country D had the black cloth taken off his face, and his facial features were extremely ugly. Su Shenbing stared at it for a moment, and finally said with regret, Ping Chuan, the majestic founding king, died in the hands of such an ugly thing. It's so sad. Ugly thing? When Su Yang heard this, his head suddenly blackened and he was so angry that he almost cursed. The black-robed man Wang Ping Chuan was killed by him himself, but his father said that he died at the hands of an ugly thing. Worry. Master, Wang Ping Chuan is very powerful. I consider myself inferior. The eldest young master has already said that the ugly guy who killed him was a young man who attacked him secretly, otherwise Wang Ping Chuan would not have died, Xiaoting added. What? A young person? Damn it, you are the Xiao Xiao, and your whole family is the Xiao Xiao. Su Yankee cursed in his heart. Really? Su Shenbing nodded lightly, then looked at Su Yang and reminded, Su Yang, have you offended Zhao Wenbin recently? Why did he want to kill you? Su Jinghan next to him heard this and looked over immediately, looking quite nervous and eager to hear Su Yang's answer. Su Yang noticed the change in Su Jinghan's expression and was already convinced. However, he suffered from the lack of evidence, so he deliberately said, that kid must not be able to afford to lose. I won too many things from him today. When Su Jinghan heard Su Yang's answer, he breathed a sigh of relief and was glad that he was not exposed. Then what happened to the dead soldiers of Country D? Why did they kill you? Su Shenbing then asked. I don't know about this. Dad, please investigate quickly and find out the murderer. I don't want to be secretly killed while walking around the club, Su Yang said. You still want to go to the club? Su Shenbing gritted his teeth and said, little bastard, you are not allowed to go anywhere before the mastermind behind the scenes is investigated. Just stay at home. Xiaoting, from today on, you keep an eye on him and don't allow him to leave the manor even half a step without my order. Yes. Xiaoting responded respectfully. Fuck, Dad, you are trying to put me in confinement. Su Yang suddenly became unhappy. His eyes fell on Su Jinghan and said, good brother, please beg for mercy for me. I don't want to be imprisoned anymore. Brother, don't worry. Su Jinghan pushed the gold-rimmed mirror frame, with a warm smile on his face, and said softly, Father, confinement won't solve any problems. You'd better take back your life. Jinghan, I know you have a good relationship, but I have made up my mind. You don't have to plead for him. It's useless, Su Shenbing said calmly. Father, listen to me, only by releasing the eldest brother can the murderer behind this be revealed. Su Jinghan smiled and said, if you put my brother in solitary confinement and the murderer can't find a chance to take action, when will that person be caught out? Hearing what Su Jinghan said, Su Shenbing suddenly realized, you mean, you want to use Su Yang as bait? Yes. Su Jinghan continued, since the person behind this dares to murder my eldest brother, he might also attack other people in the Su family. It would be better to find out as soon as possible to avoid long nights and nightmares. Moreover, you can send Xiaoting to secretly protect your eldest brother. With Xiaoting's strength, there are only a handful of people in Jiangbei who can kill your eldest brother without anyone noticing. Your eldest brother will definitely be safe, Su Jinghan said with a smile. Haha, that's a good idea. When Su Shenbing heard this, he immediately clapped his hands and said, Jinghan, you are worthy of being my adopted son. He is very considerate. Thank you, foster father, for the compliment, Su Jinghan said humbly. Not arrogant, not impetuous, very good. Su Shenbing first praised Su Jinghan, then looked at Su Yang and said calmly, Su Yang, you don't have to be grounded anymore. You can go wherever you want from now on. Xiaoting will protect you in the dark. Su Yang sneered in his heart, probably guessing Su Jinghan's intention. Once Su Yang stays in the Su family manor, he will have fewer opportunities to take action. Only if Su Yang is not grounded will he have more opportunities. However, this played into Su Yang's heart. As long as Su Jinghan took action again, he could find a flaw and kill him. But on the surface, Su Yang smiled gratefully and said, haha, my good brother, you are so awesome. Now I not only don't have to be grounded, but I also have a powerful bodyguard like Xiaoting. From now on, when I go out to show off, who dares to mess with me, Li Kekai, I don't have to be afraid anymore. Thank you, good brother. Innocent. Su Jinghan sneered in his heart, but his expression was flattered, and he smiled and said, brother, don't be so polite to me. Well, good brother, next time I have a chance, I will take you to a high-end club to be cool and unrestrained. I will treat you and choose the most beautiful technician for you. Su Yang smiled and said, is one enough? If not, I will find 10 or 8 for you. I will make sure you are comfortable. Piss off. Before Su Jinghan could answer, Su Shenbing cursed and said, little bastard, forget it if you are a bad learner. Don't drag Jinghan around. I don't want to see you. When Su Yang saw his father getting angry, he hurriedly left the hall and went back to his room. Father, I'm going back too. It's already so late. You should go to bed early. Su Jinghan smiled gently, turned around and walked out of the hall unhurriedly. Seeing Su Yang and Su Jinghan leave, Su Shenbing couldn't help but let out a long sigh. Hey, Su Yang, this kid has no abilities and a frivolous personality. He only wants to enjoy himself, so it's hard for him to achieve great things. On the other hand, Jinghan is calm, courteous, and humble in dealing with others. He has the style of a householder. Su Shenbing sighed, hey, it would be great if Jinghan was my biological son. What a pity, what a pity. Su Shenbing was still praising Su Jinghan, but what he didn't know was that at this moment, Su Jinghan returned to his room, locked the door, his face was extremely gloomy, and he destroyed the furnishings in the room angrily. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 26. Hateful. Let him live again, why can't he always die? Zhao Wenbin, your special code is an idiot. He hasn't pushed to the laboratory yet. Why did you call him away? Are you so eager to get your jade pendant back? Su Jinghan's eyes were scarlet, and he wanted to roar loudly, but he was afraid of disturbing others, so he lowered his voice and roared, looking a little crazy. He had no doubts about what Su Yang said in the hall. Because Zhao Wenbin had communicated with Su Jinghan before, he knew that Su Yang had won a lot of things from Zhao Wenbin. Although Zhao Wenbin didn't know the importance of the jade pendant at the time, he had worn it since he was a child and had feelings for it. Therefore, he mentioned it in front of Su Jinghan and said that he would get the jade pendant back after killing Su Yang, so Su Jinghan had an impression of the jade pendant. Based on what Su Yang said, Su Jinghan placed all the blame on Zhao Wenbin. Damn you bitch, I arranged for you to take Wang Pingchu on there just in case. Who told you to take action in advance? If it weren't for you, Su Yang might have died in the laboratory explosion by now. Su Yang, why are you so lucky? From the moment you were born, you have had everything that I could never have in my entire life. I set up 2 fatal situations, but I couldn't kill you. Why? Su Jinghan was furious, almost on the verge of going berserk. At this moment, a call came in. Su Jinghan glanced at the caller ID and gradually calmed down. After the call was connected, a cold man's voice came from the other side, I know everything. Did you send Zhao Wenbin and Wang Pingchu on? Using a laboratory explosion to kill Su Yang is full of uncertainty, so I have made 2 preparations. Is there any problem? Su Jinghan asked rhetorically. This is a big problem, the man opposite said angrily, why didn't you inform me? If I had known this, I wouldn't have done anything more. I missed the opportunity to kill Su Yang. What's the meaning? Su Jinghan frowned slightly, then suddenly realized, and asked, did you send that dead soldier from country D? Yes. Damn it, why do your people want to save Su Yang? Su Jinghan became angry with embarrassment. I don't know the specifics. Maybe he mistook Zhao Wenbin for Su Yang and mistook the founder of the mountain Ping Chuan for Su Yang's bodyguard, so he took action to kill him, but he made a big mistake. Wrong person. Su Jinghan gritted his teeth and said, damn it, you have to give me an explanation for this. Shut up, Su Jinghan, your enemy is not me. Why are you angry at me? Don't forget our common purpose. The man on the other end of the phone continued, only by killing Su Yang can I get Li Feixuan and you have the opportunity to take over the Su family. Before that, we must unite. Su Jinghan calmed down completely after hearing this. Tell me, how is the situation in the Su family? The man opposite asked. Su Shenbing already knew that someone wanted to kill Su Yang, but Zhao Wenbin didn't confess me before he died, and your dead soldiers probably didn't confess you either. Su Jinghan continued, Su Shenbing couldn't find any clues. In order to protect Su Yang, we decided to ground Su Yang. The death soldier is called the death soldier because he is determined to die when he performs a task. If he fails to complete the task, he will commit suicide immediately. Do you think his reputation is in vain? The man on the other side of the phone smiled at first, then frowned and said, Su Yang is grounded. Now we are in trouble. It's hard to kill him. Don't worry, I convinced Su Shenbing. He decided to use Su Yang as bait and planned to lure out the mastermind, so Su Yang was not banned. Su Jinghan continued, but it is true that it is difficult to kill. From now on, Xiaoting will secretly protect Su Yang. Xiaoting? Okay, I understand, it's just the middle stage of Huajin. I have a late stage of Huajin here. As long as he takes action, Su Yang will die. Tomorrow night, no matter what method you use, I will invite Su Yang to the Jade Finger Wonderland, and leave the rest to me. I will make him die of exhaustion in a high-end club. This method of death is also in line with his current condition. Image, haha. As soon as he finished speaking, the phone was hung up. When Su Jinghan heard this, he felt much relieved and said with a cold smile. Su Yang, in the late stage of transformation, you are strong enough to deal with Xiaoting. I'll see how you escape this time. Next, Su Jinghan tidied her clothes, restored her gentle manner, and then began to clean up the room. Every time he vented his anger, in order to avoid being discovered, he would restore the room to its original state, and he gradually developed a habit. Early the next morning, Su Yang ended his training state. After yesterday's battle, he was even more eager to become stronger to deal with the crisis-filled earth. Zhao Wenbin is just a young master from a middle-class family, and he has a master who is no weaker than me. I wonder if Su Jinghan has a backup plan. Su Yang said to himself, it seems that it is necessary to go to the 9-gate black market. No matter what, we must set foot on the second floor of Qi training as soon as possible. As for school, with Hua Shimiao taking care of me, it won't be a big problem whether I go or not. Making up his mind, Su Yang got out of bed and planned to go to Zhongshan Road in the eastern suburbs to find the Jimen Black Market, and then buy some low-grade spiritual stones for cultivation. But when he came to the living room, Su Yang saw Su Jinghan, who smiled and said, hello, brother, good morning, are you ready to go to school? Yes, good brother, are you going to the company at this time? Su Yang smiled softly and then put his arm around Su Jinghan's shoulders, really like a pair of close brothers. Su Jinghan pushed the gold-rimmed mirror frame, nodded and said, my adoptive father is now semi-retired, and I need to make decisions on many things in the company. Thank you for your hard work, brother, Su Yang said gratefully. It's not hard, it's all for the Su family. It's just that, big brother, there is one thing Su Jinghan smiled and started to wiggle, as if she had something to say but was embarrassed. Seeing this, Su Yang patted Su Jinghan on the shoulder and said calmly, good brother, if you have anything to say, just tell me. Don't be polite to me. Then I'll say it. Su Jinghan looked around and found no one, so he whispered, brother, you said you wanted to invite me to a high-end club last night, are you serious? What else are you trying to do? Su Yang sneered in his heart, I'm not afraid that you'll mess with me, I'm just afraid that you won't dare to mess with me, you bitch, if you have any conspiracy, just come over here. After thinking about this, Su Yang smiled and said, "Of course I am serious, good brother, do you want to play?" Su Jinghan looked very embarrassed, his face turned red, and he said shyly, "Brother, can you take me to experience it tonight?" "No problem, it's just that, good brother, weren't you always interested in this matter before? Why are you suddenly enlightened now?" Su Yang asked doubtfully. In order to dispel Su Yang's doubts, Su Jinghan had already prepared a reason and told a secret of his that was usually difficult to reveal. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 27. Brother, to be honest, I have lived for 20 years and have never tasted a woman, so I am still a child. Su Jinghan pushed the frame of the mirror and said with a blushing face, "Yesterday you casually said that you would take me to the club and arrange 10 or 8 technicians for me. I was moved at that time. But my adoptive father was nearby and refused directly on my behalf, and I was too embarrassed to agree. When I got back to the room, my heart flew to the club. I was so excited that I couldn't sleep well all night," Su Jinghan said with a longing face. "Ha ha." Su Yang laughed heartily and said, "Good brother, I didn't expect you to be a child. It's so embarrassing. Nowadays, many people start doing that in their teens." Su Jinghan was extremely embarrassed and said with a blushing face, "Brother, please keep your voice down, don't let others hear it." "Okay, okay." Su Yang smiled and said, "I will take you to the club tonight and let you become a real man." Snored. Finally got fooled. Su Jinghan sneered repeatedly and said gratefully, "That's great, thank you, brother. I heard that the technicians at Jade Finger Wonderland are very good looking, and there are also models, college students, and female celebrities. Can we go there?" Su Jinghan suggested. "No problem, big brother promises to make everything clear for you today." Su Yang nodded, and then said with a playful smile, "It's just that, good brother, the technicians in the club are all experienced. Can you, a little chick, endure it?" Su Jinghan said awkwardly, "No problem. As promised in advance, if you finish it in a few seconds, I won't take you to play anymore." Su Yang smiled softly. "Probably not." When Su Jinghan said this, he lost his mind. He did not lie to Su Yang. He was really a child, so he knew nothing about this matter. "Okay, good brother, wait for me to make arrangements tonight. If it doesn't work, let's take some medicine." Su Yang patted Su Jinghan's shoulder, probably guessing that the other party had a new plan, otherwise he would not have offered to go to Jade Finger Wonderland. But in the face of absolute strength, all conspiracies and tricks are just paper tigers, and tyrannical power can crush everything. Next, Su Yang said goodbye to Su Jinghan and walked out of the Su family manor. As soon as he left, Xiaoting followed closely behind him, secretly protecting Su Yang. Su Yang noticed Xiaoting's presence and didn't say anything more, but pretended not to know. With Su Yang's strength, it would be easy to get rid of Xiaoting, but he couldn't do it openly, otherwise Xiaoting would be suspicious of him. But Su Yang has already thought of a way. He will go to a high-end club to open a private room later, and then order 2 technicians. Xiaoting would naturally think that he was going to do that, so he would not watch in secret. At this time, Su Yang knocked out the female technician again and left the club without anyone noticing, so that he could hide from the truth. However, as soon as Su Yang came out of the manor, before he could go far, a beautiful girl walked towards him angrily. The girl was wearing loose sportswear, with a top that was as big as her boyfriend's, and a pair of slender legs that caught everyone's attention. She has 2 long ponytails, eyes as big as grapes, a round face full of collagen, and a lollipop in her mouth. She looks very cute. At this moment, the girl was holding a baseball bat on her shoulders and stood in front of Su Yang angrily. There was a clear contrast with her cute image and she looked particularly cute. However, When Su Yang saw her, he immediately felt a headache and hurriedly quickened his pace to escape. Stop! But the cute girl with big eyes stopped Su Yang, holding the baseball bat in one hand and taking the lollipop out of her mouth with the other, gritting her teeth and saying, Su Yang, I finally got you. Li Kekai. Su Yang Guo met the big-eyed cute girl's gaze, frowned, and said, I don't have time to make trouble with you, get out of the way quickly, I have something else to do. Good. The cute girl with big eyes is Li Kekai. Hey, Su Yang, have you become bolder? How dare you call me by my name? Li Kekai waved the baseball bat and threatened fiercely, believe it or not, I'll beat you up. Su Yang could sense that there were real energy fluctuations in Li Kekai's body, and she was obviously an ancient warrior. Xiaoting was still observing secretly, so it was not convenient for Su Yang to take action, lest Xiaoting become suspicious. After thinking for a moment, Su Yang showed a flattering smile, Hey, Sister Kekai, I just woke up and my mind is a little confused. I was wrong. Please don't hit me. That's pretty much it. The word big sister made Li Kekai particularly proud, but then she thought of the purpose of her visit and said angrily, Su Yang, you are really nothing, you actually knocked my sister out and gave it to Zhao Wenbin. Today I must let you know my sister's identity sharp. After saying that, Li Kekai bit the lollipop and rushed towards Su Yang with a baseball bat. Fuck. Su Yang gritted his teeth and said, Li Kekai, don't bite your nose and face. I used to think you were a woman. I don't have the same experience as you. Do you really think I can't beat you? Just you. Li Kekai said disdainfully, I'm just a loser. I've already set foot on the secret power. If I hit you, I'm abusing you. Humph, Li Kekai, you are too arrogant. Today I will show you how powerful I am. Su Yang rolled up his sleeves and said seriously, to tell you the truth, I have been learning martial arts from Xiaoting for a long time. Now I will defeat you, take away your baseball bat, and then use the baseball bat to beat your little butt. I will not kill you. I am no longer Su Yang if I am beaten and squealing. The king of mouth, you only know how to blow, Li Kekai curled her lips and said contemptuously. Whoever brags, I will take action right away. Su Yang made a few moves, and it seemed like he was serious about it. Seeing this, Li Kekai stopped and looked at Su Yang warily. She couldn't help but wonder if Su Yang had really learned martial arts. Fixuan, are you here to cheer me up? At this time, Su Yang suddenly said. Concubine Xian? My sister is here? Li Kekai turned her head subconsciously, only to find that there was no one behind her. Then she looked curiously for a few seconds, but did not see her sister. Su Yang, you are blind, when will my sister come? Li Kekai turned around and found that Su Yang had run into the Bentley not far away, and she immediately realized that she had been deceived. Haha, Li Kekai, what I said about big breasts and no brains is indeed true. If you still want to compete with me with your IQ, just go to school for 2 more years. Su Yang smiled playfully, turned to drive the Bentley Mulsanne, stepped on the accelerator and left the scene. Li Kekai became angry and chased after him, but ended up getting a mouthful of exhaust fumes and dust. Bah, bah. Watching the Bentley drive away, Li Kekai's face turned pale with anger, she threw the baseball bat away with all her strength, and roared fiercely, Su Yang, I'm not done with you, you can't run away. Li Kekai was angered and drove her red sports car to chase Su Yang. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 28. Half an hour later. The Bentley Mulsanne appeared in Jade Finger Wonderland, and Su Yang arrogantly parked the car outside the gate. Sir, you can't park here, there is a parking space over there. The receptionist came forward and said politely. Su Yang got out of the car, his eyes fell on the receptionist, and he said calmly, what did you just say? Su, young master Su. Su Yang often comes here to spend money, so the greeting boy naturally knows him. When he saw that the owner of the Bentley was Su Yang, the boy's face changed with fright, and he said in panic, I didn't say anything, Suda master, please come in. Well, that's about it this time. Let your manager come out to receive me. Su Yang nodded with satisfaction, and then prepared to enter the Jade Finger Wonderland. But at this moment, a red sports car suddenly appeared, and Li Kekai chased after it. She glanced at the Jade Finger Wonderland, her face turned red, and she gritted her teeth and said, Su Yang, you are shameless, come to a high-end club in broad daylight. None of your business. Su Yang stopped and raised his eyebrows. Okay, Su Yang, if I don't get the tiles for 3 days, you will start to look down on me less and less. Li Kekai gritted her teeth and walked towards Su Yang angrily with a fierce expression, as if she wanted to teach Su Yang a lesson. Li Kekai, I have to warn you. I was buried under construction debris a few days ago. I just woke up in the past 2 days and my injuries are not fully healed yet. Su Yang threatened unhurriedly, especially my brain. The doctor said I have a concussion. If you damage it, your Li family will bear the wrath of the Su family. Hearing this, Li Kekai calmed down. The reason why she dared to beat Su Yang was because the old man of the Su family once said that as a descendant of the Su family, he could not even beat a girl. It was a shame to the Su family. No one was allowed to help Su Yang. He deserved to be beaten. Therefore, no one in the Su family stopped Li Kekai from teaching Su Yang a lesson. Even her younger brother Su Jingguo turned a blind eye. But Li Kekai knew that she could not do anything harsh, otherwise she would definitely cause dissatisfaction with the Su family, so she usually taught Su Yang a lesson and only dared to leave Su Yang with minor skin injuries. She had also heard about Su Yang being buried some time ago. Now that she knew that Su Yang was not recovering, Li Kekai gave up the idea of teaching Su Yang a lesson. Let me save you from this disaster. I'll make a note of it first. When you're healed, I'm going to beat you up, Li Kekai threatened fiercely. Let's talk about the future later. Now I want to be cool and unrestrained. You should leave quickly. Su Yang dismissed. Li Kekai stared at Su Yang and said angrily, Su Yang, you are a dirty thing. You are still thinking about doing that kind of thing before your injuries are fully healed. It makes me mad. It's none of your business that I find a woman. Is it your turn to be angry? Su Yang frowned, then smiled playfully. Li Kekai, is it possible that you like me, so when you see me coming to the club, you become angry? I like you, uncle. Li Kekai gritted her teeth. My uncle? Su Yang shook his head and said seriously, that's not possible. My uncle is in the capital. Moreover, he is over 50 years old and has a wife and children. Even if you like him, it is useless. My eldest aunt will not agree. However, if you don't want to marry except my uncle in this life, I can tell my uncle to help you make a match. Ah! Li Kekai said angrily, Su Yang, what are you talking about? You are my sister's fiancé. It's okay if we don't meet her. If we meet her today, I will definitely not let you find another woman. Haha, okay, follow me if you feel like it. Su Yang smiled softly, and then strode into the Jade Finger Wonderland. Li Kekai looked around and found no one she knew, so she finally gritted her teeth and followed closely behind. Soon, the two came to the Jade Finger Wonderland hall together, and the manager in suits and ties hurriedly came forward to receive them. Young Master Su, the manager greeted respectfully. Su Yang nodded, and then asked in a familiar manner, is there anything new today? Let me try it first. Yes. It's a coincidence that you're here, Mr. Su. Today there happens to be a group of technicians who have finished their training. They are all very beautiful. The manager smiled flatteringly and said, Young Master Su, do you want to choose one? You can choose whatever you want. Elementary school students only have to do multiple choice questions. They are all arranged for me, Su Yang said generously. The rare thing in this university is money. Okay, just, Mr. Su, please be gentle this time and don't abuse the technician, otherwise it will be difficult for me to do it, the manager whispered. I know, damn, it was just an accident last time, don't mention it again in the future, Su Yang cursed. What? But Li Kekai next to her opened her eyes wide and said in shock, Su Yang, I didn't expect you to be a sadist. Young Master Su, who is this? The manager looked at Li Kekai and asked curiously. Her. Su Yang smiled softly and introduced, this is Li Kekai, the second lady of the Li family, one of the 4 major families in Jiangbei. Xiaonazai is so old and hasn't had a boyfriend yet, so I want to experience it. Su Yang smiled playfully and said, Manager Zhang, call the most handsome and experienced cowherd here to play with Miss Li. I will pay for the expenses. Okay, young Master Su, I will make arrangements right away. Your supreme private room is also ready. You can go in and rest for a while. As for Miss Li, wait outside for a while and I will arrange another private room for her. The manager agreed and walked away. Li Kekai was very curious about this place for the first time, so she blinked her eyes and asked innocently, Su Yang, what is a cowherd? Cowherd. Su Yang raised the corners of his mouth and smiled softly, do you know dramas? Of course I know. My mother likes to watch dramas, and I occasionally go there to watch them. The cowherd is a character in a drama. What's the name of that drama? I can't remember clearly. It seems to be related to the Weaver Girl or something. The plot is particularly touching. Su Yang deceived, the person I just asked the manager to contact you is the most handsome cowherd, and his skills are very good. Wow. Li Kekai's heart suddenly moved, with little stars in her eyes, and she turned to wonder, why is it because of good technique, shouldn't it be good acting? Well, what do you know? For drivers, technology is driving skills, and for actors, technology is acting skills, Su Yang said casually. Anyway, just be prepared. Don't be fooled by the cowherd skills, cried. I'm very tearful, I won't cry, Li Kekai said forcefully. Okay, you can wait here to experience cowherd skills. I'll go to the private room first. Su Yang smiled softly, then trotted out of the hall. If it were an ordinary girl, Su Yang would definitely not do this, but Li Kekai was different. This girl's strength is beyond comparison. Not to mention a cowherd, even 10 or 8 big men can't get close to her. Now, Su Yang began to feel a little pity for the cowherd who received Li Kekai. Hey, Su Yang, don't leave. As soon as Li Kekai wasn't paying attention, Su Yang walked away, and since there were so many private rooms in Jade Finger Wonderland, she didn't know which private room Su Yang went to, so she said to herself, forget it, leave him alone, anyway. This guy is a repeat offender, let him be. I just didn't expect that you can watch the drama Cowherd and Weaver Girl in a high-end club. It's a romantic and touching script. I'm really looking forward to it. Li Kekai planned to leave after watching the play, so she waited in the lobby for the manager's arrangements. A few minutes later, the manager took her to a private room, and then Li Kekai happily sat on the sofa to wait, her cute little face full of anticipation. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 29. At this moment, Li Kekai was very excited and full of expectations for the actors in the next drama. The most handsome cowherd, I don't know how handsome he is. The Weaver Girl must be very beautiful too, and there must be a magpie bridge or something. The scene is probably beautiful and touching. Li Kekai was particularly looking forward to it, looking eagerly at the door of the private room, eager to watch the drama. At this moment, a call came in, and the caller ID read, the most beautiful mother in the world. Kikai, didn't we say we would go shopping together today? I haven't seen you since this morning. Where did you go? A gentle female voice came from the phone. Lee Kikai smiled showily. Hey, Mom, I'm waiting to watch a play in Jade Finger Wonderland. Let my sister go shopping with you. Watching a drama? You girl, why don't you ask me to come with you for such a wonderful thing? He Yufeng smiled and complained about her daughter, but suddenly realized something was wrong. Wait, where did you say you were? The Jade Finger Fairyland. Lee Kikai smiled innocently and said, Mom, I just now know that there are dramas to watch in high-end clubs. I will come here often in the future. The environment here is much more comfortable. There are sofas and air conditioning in the private rooms. It is countless times better than a drama theater. Kikai, why are you so stupid? How can you watch a drama in such a dirty place? He Yufeng urged, come back quickly and don't stay there. It will be bad for your reputation if word spreads. Mom, why are you so anxious? I think you have a huge misunderstanding of Jade Finger Wonderland. Lee Kikai said in a show-off manner. Su Yang said that there will be a drama about the cowherd and the weaver girl today. He ordered the most handsome cowherd for me, and his skills are also very good. Oh, by the way, he is the character in the cowherd drama. He is an actor, so his skill is acting. Anyway, I can feast my eyes on him. Lee Kikai smiled happily and said, Su Yang also thought I would be made to cry by cowherd's skills. This should be a beautiful and touching love drama. Mom, the play hasn't started yet. Do you want to come over? Let's watch it together finally. Lee Kikai issued an invitation. Silly girl, how can you believe Su Yang's words? Do you know what cowherd means? He Yufeng said anxiously. Lee Kikai's big eyes flickered and she said innocently, the cowherd is a character in the drama, isn't it? No. In high-end clubs, cowherd has a special meaning. He Yufeng gritted his teeth. What special meaning? That is. He Yufeng was embarrassed to speak, and paused for a few seconds before saying, they are the men that rich women can find with money. To put it simply, duck, now you understand. Ah. Lee Kikai stood up suddenly, her lovely face turned red instantly, and murmured to herself, it turns out that the cowherd is a duck, and the cowherd's skills are good, which means, Su Yang, how dare you lie to me? I'm not done with you, Lee Kikai roared in embarrassment. Kikai, what's not over yet? Come out of the Jade Finger Wonderland quickly. Remember, don't let others see it, otherwise your reputation will be ruined if word spreads, He Yufeng reminded. I know, Mom, I'm going out right now. Lee Kikai calmed down, hung up the phone and was about to leave. At this time, the door of the private room was suddenly opened, and a strong man walked in. Seeing Lee Kikai, the cowherd's eyes suddenly lit up. He couldn't help swallowing his saliva and asked excitedly, Beauty, are you the one who ordered the service? Don't worry, I'm the best male technician in the whole club. I promise to make you happy. You're as high as you can get. With that said, the big man licked his lips, with a wicked smile on his face, and slowly walked towards Lee Kikai. If it were any other girl, she would have been shocked out of her mind if she encountered this situation. But opposite Lee Kikai, the result was exactly the opposite. Go to hell, you disgusting thing. Lee Kikai suddenly raised her leg, and with a graceful high whip, she instantly knocked out the tall man, leaving him unable to fight back. Immediately afterwards, Lee Kikai still couldn't understand her hatred. She seemed to think that he was Su Yang, and kicked him twice fiercely, and then hurriedly escaped from the Jade Finger Wonderland. Now, the private room next door is dimly lit. Su Yang was sitting on the sofa, surrounded by 4 or 5 top-notch women with graceful figures. These women have exquisite facial features, bold clothing, and are very sexy. Young Master Su, I heard that you knocked out 2 of our seniors last time. You were so powerful. It's not just a matter of being stunned, or even, in short, young Master Su, can you let us see how brave you are? Yes, yes, right now, among Jiangbei's celebrity circles, it is rumored that you are the most powerful person in Jiangbei. I am looking forward to meeting you. Several female technicians talked to each other, but their hands were not honest when speaking, and they kept teasing Su Yang. Haha, that's of course. I rely on my fierceness to indulge in the Jade Finger Fairyland and travel to high-end clubs. Su Yang hugged a female technician with a slightly satisfied expression, and then smiled and said, "It's just that, are you ready to play with me?" "Uh-huh. It is done. Always ready." The female technicians looked at Su Yang excitedly with expectant faces and affectionate eyebrows. "Okay, I'm going to get started." A playful smile appeared on Su Yang's lips, and then with a wave of his hand, all the female technicians on the scene fainted and fell to the ground. Third-rate stuff, hard to look at. Su Yang stood up, changed his expression instantly, patted his clothes in disgust, and said lightly, "I feel dirty after being touched a few times by you, so just lie down quietly." Su Yang had been in the private room for several minutes, always paying attention to Li Kekai's movements next door. When he noticed Li Kekai leaving, he took action to stun the female technician next to him. Immediately afterwards, Su Yang opened his consciousness and found that Xiao Ting was guarding the exit of Jade Finger Wonderland and did not approach the private room. So, Su Yang hid his aura, jumped down from the window, and left the Jade Finger Wonderland. At this moment, Xiao Ting didn't know that Su Yang had left, so he hid in the dark vigilantly. The young master almost made a mistake again today. He actually dared to bring Miss Li Kekai into a high-end club. Thankfully Miss Li Kekai came out just now, otherwise the consequences would be disastrous. Thinking of this, Xiao Ting sighed and said, "Hey, when will the young master make people worry-free?" Yesterday, he said he wanted to learn martial arts, but he stopped mentioning it today. How can a waste like him take over the Su family in the future? Iron can't be turned into steel. Xiao Ting in the dark kept shaking his head, extremely disappointed with Su Yang. At this moment, the trash in Xiao Ting's eyes was riding to the eastern suburbs. Not long after, Su Yang arrived at his destination, Zhongshan Road in the eastern suburbs. This road is relatively long, and it is really difficult for ordinary people to find the entrance to the Jimin black market. However, Su Yang's consciousness is amazing and he can sense the ancient warriors who have true energy. In just a few minutes, he found an area where many ancient warriors gathered. According to his perception, all the ancient warriors were underground. After checking several times, Su Yang finally found the entrance. Before entering the Jimin black market, Su Yang suddenly thought of a question and stopped. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 30. My current strength is not good enough, and Su Jinghan has not been defeated yet, so it is not appropriate to reveal my identity. In this case, I definitely can't go to the Nine Gates black market in my current appearance. With this in his mind, Su Yang found a place where no one was around and started to use the disguise technique. I saw him spreading his palms, raising his hands and shaking them in front of his face, and his facial features quickly changed strangely. After a few seconds, the changes stop. At this time, Su Yang had completely changed into a different look, with a hooked nose and starry eyes and sharp eyebrows. His temperament has also undergone a huge change. Now he has an expressionless face with the words "keep away from strangers" written on his face. His temperament is cold and compelling, like a cold male protagonist from a martial arts novel. No one should be able to recognize me. This face can no longer be called Su Yang. In my previous life, I was the immortal Emperor Xiantian. Now my name will be Su Xiantian. Su Yang said calmly, even his voice was different from before, revealing a cold tone. Next, Su Yang turned back to the entrance and walked into the Jimin black market expressionlessly. There is a guard on both sides of the entrance to the 9-gate black market to prevent non-ancient warriors from entering. Stop, you look unfamiliar. Are you a casual cultivator or a member of the sect? At this time, one of the guards asked. Su Yang stopped, his eyes fell on the guard, and he said with a stern look, "Why, do I need to tell you?" While speaking, a breathtaking aura erupted from Su Yang's body, instantly sweeping the entire place, and the air seemed to freeze. The guard who asked the question turned pale with fright, swallowed twice in fear, and retreated involuntarily. Seeing this, another guard next to him hurriedly smiled and said, "Sir, Jimin Black Market will not ask about the origin of its customers. You can enter by registering your name here." Su Yang nodded gently, regained his terrifying aura, wrote his name with a swipe of a pen, and then truly entered the black market. After he left, the guard couldn't help but let out a long sigh of relief. While wiping the cold sweat on his forehead, he said fearfully, "This young man has such a strong momentum, at least he is at the peak of his strength. I think it's more than that." Another guard said with taboos, "Only when we, two brothers, have entered the middle stage of energy transformation, are we qualified to guard the entrance to the 9-door black market. But in front of that young man just now, I feel powerless. He even gave me an unfathomable feeling, as if he could wipe me out with just a raise of his hand. How terrifying!" Suxientian. The guard glanced at the name written by Su Yang and murmured, "In the ancient martial arts world, there are only a handful of people at this age who have taken up strength, and there is no one named Su among them. Is it because I am ignorant?" The two began to guess Susuanation's identity, but had no clue at all. Jimin Black Market, to put it simply, is a vegetable market. However, vegetables are not sold here, only things related to cultivation. Those who come to shop are not ordinary people, but ancient warriors with internal strength. Although this place is underground, it is obviously carefully designed. It is not only as bright as daytime, but also very well ventilated. It is no different from visiting a large supermarket. At this moment, Su Yang was walking in the black market, his eyes quickly scanning the stalls on both sides. His goal is simple, which is low-grade spiritual stones, or energy stones. However, until Su Yang walked the entire street, he didn't find any energy stones, but he saw a lot of various aged medicinal materials. Like Polygonum multiflorum grown for 200 years, ginseng grown for 300 years, and snow lotus grown for 500 years. These medicinal materials contain some spiritual energy and can be combined to refine many kinds of elixirs, but they are not suitable for breakthroughs. If you want to advance to the second level of Qi training, you must have sufficient spiritual energy, and energy stones are the best choice. Little brother, I see you have been shopping around. If you want to buy something, maybe I have it here at this time," someone suddenly said. Su Yang moved his eyes and saw a fat old man waving to him. The old man was in his 60s or 70s, with no hair and a kind smile on his face. As for his strength, Su Yang couldn't judge because the opponent didn't use his true energy. But because of this, it further proves that this old man is not weak in strength, and his level is definitely higher than that of the founding Palm King Ping Chuan. Su Yang was quite afraid and said, "I want to buy 2 energy stones, do you have them?" Energy stone, this thing is of certain benefit to the ancient martial arts practitioners. Many qualified sect disciples have been wearing it since birth. The special energy inside can reduce the probability of getting sick. It is a hard currency in the ancient martial arts world. Naturally, there is. The fat old man smiled softly and said, "It's just that the energy stone is worth a lot of money. 1 stone costs 10 million, and 2 means 20 million. Little brother, can you afford it?" "I still have 20 million," Su Yang nodded lightly. "Haha, that's good. A fierce light flashed in the eyes of the fat old man, but he said with a smile, I have placed the energy stone at home. My home is not far from the black market. Little brother, come with me to get it. Although the ferocious light in the fat old man's eyes flashed away, Su Yang still noticed it and knew that he had encountered an opponent with ulterior motives. But Su Yang had practiced for 80,000 years in his previous life, and had encountered similar things too many times, so he did not panic, but was very calm. It turns out that the other party has already targeted him, and knowing that he has 20 million, he will definitely treat himself as a fat sheep, and he cannot hide from it. The best way is to pretend to cooperate first, find the right moment, and kill with one strike. Su Yang, as the Xiantian Immortal Emperor, is familiar with the business of killing people and getting goods for free than anyone else. Until then, you can get what you want without spending a penny. This is the principle of finding wealth in danger. Thinking of this, Su Yang responded, Okay, senior, please lead the way, and I will go get it with you. When the fat old man heard this, he smiled kindly, and then led Su Yang out of the Jimin black market. If the old immortal smiling Buddha places another order, that young man will be in trouble. This is already the third time this month, right? Jimin black market doesn't care about it. The smiling Buddha is already a master at the peak of his strength. He is stronger than the two guards. The top management of Jimin black market is not willing to offend him easily. It's so strong. Speaking of which, the smiling Buddha is probably one of the best in Jiangbei. Don't worry, everyone. He is still self-aware and does not dare to touch the disciples of the section. Those who are cheated by him are all unknown small cultivators. Everyone was talking a lot, thinking that Su Yang was just a piece of fish on the chopping board and was destined to be slaughtered by the smiling Buddha. Half an hour later, Su Yang followed the smiling Buddha to the foot of Dongshan Mountain. This place is very desolate. It is a barren mountain with few people and no one can be seen in broad daylight. Barren mountains and ridges, a place of murder. Su Yang knew it well, but on the surface he was confused. Senior, didn't you say that your home is not far from the Jimin black market? But we have been walking for half an hour, how long will it take to get there? He. Hearing this, the fat old man suddenly turned around. The kindness on his face disappeared. He stared at Su Yang with a pair of cloudy eyes and sneered, Young man, it's time to show your cards. I won't pretend anymore. I don't have the energy stone, but your money must forward them all to me. Ah, what do you mean, senior? Su Yang said, pretending to be scared. Don't you understand this? The fat old man said arrogantly, I am the smiling Buddha. If you ask around in Jiangbei, who doesn't know my name? You don't even have Genkai fluctuations in your body, yet you dare to come to the Jimin black market to buy things, and you still have 20 million. You are a big fat sheep. If I don't rob you, who will you rob? Smile, the smiling Buddha is actually the old smiling Buddha. Su Yang acted like he had heard of the famous name for a long time, but in fact, he had never heard of the word smiling Buddha. Do you know me? The smiling Buddha was slightly proud. Of course, your name is well known in Jiangbei. Although I haven't been in contact with ancient martial arts for a short time, I often hear your legends. Su Yang said respectfully, my admiration for you is like a surging river, endless, and like the Yellow River overflowing, it is out of control. I am so lucky to see you today. This flattery made the smiling Buddha feel very comfortable when photographed, and his vanity was greatly satisfied. Senior smiling Buddha, I can give you all the 20 million in my card. I even have a priceless treasure on me that I am ready to dedicate to you at this time. Su Yang struck while the iron was hot. A priceless treasure. When the smiling Buddha heard this, his eyes suddenly lit up, and then he smiled softly and said, Little guy, you are very sensible. In this case, take out the treasure, I can spare your life. Yeah, thank you, Senior. The treasure is with me. I will give it to you right now. Okay, little guy, a man who knows the current affairs is a hero. You are really a talented person. The smiling Buddha couldn't help but praise Su Yang, and then looked at Su Yang intently, full of curiosity about the priceless treasure. Su Yang said, Senior, you are very grateful. Good things are only used to honor respected seniors like you. Su Yang said with a smile on his face, and an imperceptible killing intent flashed in his eyes. Then he kneaded his fingers in his arms, and a water ball the size of an apple quickly took shape, exuding terrifying power.